But we're going to shuffle on now to a pretty big topic, actually, which is Disney and its ongoing feud with Florida. So this is quite a pretty big development, to be fair. DeSantis appointees target the pro-Disney predecessors over unethical benefits and perks. Now, as a kind of like a quick overview, what they're saying is that due to perks and district employees' benefits to their families and things like that, they like it's a sum of money of about 2.5 million that has basically come back into Disney via tax breaks. So they're framing it as a tax scam, basically. That sound about right, Tom? Is that like a good overview, I guess?
Yeah, I was hoping Andrew would be able to join us for this illegal mindset to kind of break it down. But my understanding is I don't know about so much as a tax scam. I also sent the link to Mikey. I don't know if he's busy or still listening, but
Well, they do say
basically
taxpayer funds to
it's
provide
what it
season
is.
passes.
But what it is, from my understanding, is they gave out passes and other amenities to the Disney parks and such to residents of Reedy Creek, which is basically being the same, or it's underneath the same kind of purview as giving gifts to politicians or something to that effect, because they're not employees of Disney. This is supposed to be a separate district set up. It was initially set up back in the 60s because Disney was supposed to build like two different cities, I think it was, like literal cities.
Right.
So instead of actually building the cities, they built the Epcot Center, and then they end up controlling these two districts that surround, or this district that surrounds Disney, one of the two. And the way that works, though, is then they've been able to, for all these years, function as their own government. They've got their own water system, their own police, their own fire, their own hospital.
Yeah.
This is another reason for why you don't ever hear about deaths or injuries coming out of Disney too often, because they handle it all within their own system. And also they have the benefit of being able to not have to go through the red tape that everybody else would have to go through, like Universal or these other parks, when they want to build something. So what this has been nothing but a special privilege for Disney for the better part of 50 some years. And it was initially given to them under the guise of, we're building these cities, so we need these kind of the ability to control over this, and it was supposed to be a separate entity from Disney. Okay, that's my understanding. But them gifting them this, along with the other stuff that's been piling up, this could open up Disney's books, and they're looking at around $2.5 million or more in criminal activity, basically.
So just
they keep trying to drag Ron DeSantis into this, and he has very little to nothing to do with this. And a lot of this comes the day after where he had said publicly, like, yeah, I'm done with my fight with Disney. I don't give a shit, basically, in so many words. This is the state deciding to go after Disney. So DeSantis has very little to nothing to do with this. Yeah.
Well, SpartanBot has just chimed in and said, worse than that, Disney had Reedy Creek pay for a bunch of Disney
That's what this is.
And given to the workers of Reedy Creek, a government and its workers.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Get gifts from a private party. So, it is.
I was getting ready to say that's illegal.
Well, so basically, let's take a look at the Hills article just to sort of clarify what they say. So, the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District's board members, who were appointed by Ron DeSantis, submitted a complaint to the state inspector general claiming that giving district employees season passes and discounts on hotels, merchandise, and food costs millions of dollars and amounts to unethical behavior. So in a statement, the board members claimed that last year alone, the perks and benefits given to district employees and their families totaled $2.5 million in 1 year. Just district employees, $2.5 million. That's insane. Quite a high number. So for decades, the former Disney-run RCID used taxpayer funds to provide season passes and amusement experiences to its employees and their family members, cover the cost of discounts on hotels, merchandise, food, and beverages, and give its own board members VIP main entrance passes. In addition to constituting unethical benefits and perks, the scheme raises significant questions regarding self-dealing, as the board members were only permitted a maximum of $100 per month in compensation per the Reedy Creek Improvement District Act. So, yeah, thoughts now. Self-dealing. Sock it to me, Nick. Come on.
I mean, I mean, at this point, I'm not even surprised. I mean, they're literally like the mafia. You know, I mean, they had their own little thing going. They could pretty much. There's no telling. And if I had to guess, this is probably like the tip of the iceberg. There's no telling how much other shady shit that they have done. You know, under the table, here and there with different groups of people or different companies or whatever. There's probably so much stuff we'll probably never know about. But if they start doing some digging, if the state's gonna be going in there and start doing some digging, who knows what they're gonna end up finding. But this is just, you know, more bad news for Disney. Just another nail in the Disney coffin.
It's that Hollywood accountant that they're getting sued for as well. Like, God damn.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like they got lawsuit after lawsuit. I mean, things aren't going good for them. Their movies aren't doing good. Their TV shows aren't doing good. It's like, how bad does it have to get before the board and the executives are like, you know, if we keep doing the same thing, you know, why are we expecting a different result? Obviously, this isn't the right direction. I think the whole board needs to freaking fire all the executives. They need to get some people in there that aren't going to be all about the political stuff or the message or any of that crap, and get back to the core root of what Disney was, of what Walt was trying to create, which is a family entertainment company, you know, through their parks, through their movies, their shows, all that stuff for all ages. There's no hidden messages or weird crap in there that parents now have to. Literally, parents are now having to like pre-watch stuff or go to certain websites and be like, get recommendations like, is this okay for, you know, my 4 to 7-year-old to watch, or is this okay for my 8 to 12-year-old to watch? You know, when back in our day when we were growing up, man, our kids would sit us in front of the Disney Channel or throw on any Disney movie, freaking Aristocrats, Lady and the Tramp, freaking all the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, all that stuff, and it was, you know, it was never an issue for parents, and now everything they do is being scrutinized and checked by different organizations, informing parents, and it's a huge mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm trying to look up to see what the punishment is for corporate self-dealing.
For them, ain't nobody's going to do any jail time. I tell you that, but it'll probably definitely cost them money. They'll probably have a lot of heavy fines. They'll probably settle out of court, so they don't have to rack up lawyer fees. State doesn't have to rack up lawyer fees, and they'll probably settle. I guarantee you, they'll end up settling out of court. They'll be like, look, we got all this on you. You know, let's just settle out of court. You know, and you know, you have to pay this fine, do this. It'll be a slap on the wrist for Disney, and they'll just go on about their business.
Well, apparently, IRS law on self-dealing and non-profits, the Internal Revenue Service is permitted to impose a 5% tax on any occurrence of self-dealing by a disqualified individual with a private foundation as specified in the United States Code. This individual can be a trustee, a corporate officer, an attorney, or any important contributor to the foundation. This law, however, prevents the IRS from charging this amount on loans, leases, sales and exchanges, compensations, and any asset transfer to the disqualified fiduciary. That doesn't really explain much. That sounds like it's more.
I guarantee you, if any of us were to do it, we would be in jail.
Shit canned.
We would be in jail, and we would have tons of fines. But Disney doing it, ain't much going to happen. They'll have a stiff fine, which to them probably won't amount to much. I don't know. In their current situation, maybe they probably need to save every single penny they can.
Well, they got to buy Hulu, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh dear, Tom, you want to chime in on this before we round this one out, bud? What do you reckon?
Nah, I'm good.
You get all right, kids. Right. Well, anyway, ladies and gents, let's.
Like I said, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't.
Yeah.
I wish Andrew was here because Andrew or
It would have been
Valiant
good.
understands this a little bit better. And again, that one post that you put up on the screen really was saying what I was trying to say to begin with, but I was also trying to explain
Yeah.
what this all entails, and it's so extensively buried in so much law stuff that is not my forte, and I'm not going to try to pretend that it is. So it would be a disservice to you guys to try and dwell on it too much, comment on it too much. All I know is it doesn't sound good for Disney from what I've been hearing. And this is something that could open up their books, and I'm not so sure they can get out of this just by writing some checks. But then again, that might be what it takes. But I mean, this could make a lot of people look bad. So it's a matter of, you know, who's involved, who was gifted certain things, and and what benefits did that bring to Disney's table? I mean, they're looking at like fraud and possible other kind of charges, along with what the individual whose post you put on the screen was saying there. That's 100% correct, from my understanding. So, this is not looking good for Disney. It's like every week they have something new that hits them, and it gets worse and worse and worse. Like, what's next week? Bob Iger literally being taken away in handcuffs from the Magic Kingdom. Like, can you imagine the fucking like? That's where we're getting at this point. Like, that's how much worse this can get for Disney, because that's where it's at. I mean, the only thing they got going from right now is a lot of this stuff they could probably try and use Chapek as a scapegoat, but he might get lucky and be like, oh, hell no, y'all ain't doing that to me. And he'll blow the lid, since he was more or less just an acting freaking governor at that point of the company, and Bob was really doing things. He may spill the beans on everybody. Who's to say that
he could just enter a deal, couldn't he? So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so at this point, it could get real juicy. And like I said, I'm not even above the realm of possibility that in the next couple of weeks we see somebody escorted in cuffs out of Disney offices or something. It could be interesting. Could be very interesting when the federal government gets involved. When you mess with tax money, when you're talking about millions of dollars and other shit. Like, here's the thing we also have to remember: Disney's been under scrutiny already from the FTC for $6 billion discrepancy.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's nothing to sneeze at. When $6 billion is in question, you bet your butt the government is going to ask, where's the money, or what happened, or how did it happen? Because they want their piece. Trust me on that one. If they're going to go after Joe Schmo out in the middle of nowhere over a couple $100, they're going to come after Disney over billions. So this is not going to end anytime soon, and it's definitely probably not going to end in Disney's favor at this point. It's not looking good for them.
I don't know.
There's the money, Lebowski. Exactly, Davina. Sorry, Nick.
Maybe they need to take a play out of the Biden playbook on how to freaking embezzle and move money around tax free.
Because that was last week's lawsuit. Was the company? Was it? I can't remember their name, but the company that worked with Fox, because they're claiming that Disney's.
TSG.
They're claiming Disney's double dealing and underhand dealing and all this other stuff. That's some pretty salacious claims too, on top of it all. So this is not looking good for them.
Yeah,
it's really not. I mean, the saying the bigger they are, the harder they fall definitely applies here. That's for sure.
And granted, I'm sure that a lot of these people are probably facing federal criminal charges with this stuff. But until I actually see somebody in handcuffs and getting hauled off, I'm not going to believe that anything like that's going to happen to any of them.
Yeah, true.
I don't buy it. It could happen. It should happen. I hope it does happen. But it's one of those things. I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, this is pretty major stuff. It'll be. You
are
right.
Definitely.
Like, believe it when I see it. But we're one step closer each and every single time, and it is literally weekly, as Tom said. There is something brand new coming out. So it's like it's like someone's been picking at a thread, and now it's just all unraveling. This is the mess that Disney's created for themselves. It's just all unraveling for everyone.
Iger will get abducted by aliens next week. That'll be the headline.
That'll be it. Yeah.